Welcome to the Trail Chasers Podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. If you want to step up your off-road game, go to NexenTireUSA.com and get a set of Rodian MTXs.
Today on the show, I think Cody upsets Mike with shower pouch when he threatens to use one on me in a most inappropriate way. Then he starts talking about trading his old faithful Tacoma for a Ford Ranger. What's next? You're going to start drinking Coors Light and move to Hemet?
Well, we're given a reason why I'm a genius. And Cody, you're more than welcome to join the Coors Light family.
I told you guys, I'm a Fireball whiskey guy now. and I guess maybe I'm a Ford guy now, too.
Oh!
It's time for the Trail Chasers Podcast. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Trail Chaser, yeah, I can chase your adventure. Trail Chaser, our time is now.
Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure.
So we talked about some voicemails we got last week, right? We got a couple follow-ups, and for those of you that are calling in, I appreciate you calling in. Except for this guy, I don't know that I'm going to appreciate what he has to say.
Hey guys, this is Al from New Jersey, part of the Jose fan club. I was just wondering what the webpage was to get my Jose, the Voice of Reason t-shirt.
Wow.
Get a chance, maybe you guys can post that up so we can buy some. Thanks, love the show.
Oh, Al,
man.
I love you, Al.
Voice of reason, huh?
Yeah, where's how does Jose rank as the voice of reason on this show? If anything, that's me.
And if I am that baseline, that's pretty sad.
Well, dude, you need to come out and do a overnight trip with Jose. And if
And
you still
experience,
think, you still think he's the voice of reason.
I will be the first one to tell you, I
No.
am not the voice of
So
reason.
here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start a GoFundMe page to send Jose out to New Jersey
Oh, stop
to
it.
hang out with Al for a couple days.
Just have Al offer to bring him out. That's it. That's the only GoFundMe.
Honestly, I'm trying to figure out like why he would say that. I'm not the one in the middle saying like, okay,
Unless
guys,
he
let's ring
likes
it in.
conspiracy theories.
Oh, maybe, but even then,
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Jose does bring a level. We've talked about it before. Brings a level of knowledge to the show. That
no,
he-
I
that-
have
that-
those moments of like Will Ferrell in Old School where I just like spew out some stuff and I'm just like, dude, what just happened?
But I think whenever the randomness starts, it's the two of you that are trying to drive down that path, and I'm the one trying to rail you in.
If anything,
Or up that path. Why you gotta go? Why has it gotta be down?
because it's a horrible path.
but if anything,
way.
you're always the one that has to
Rein you guys
that
back-
has to
yeah.
rein me and Matt back to reality here. Or whatever that is.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. Who's reality?
Yeah, whatever that is.
All right, we
It's a
got
simulation.
We got another one. Thanks, Al. Appreciate it. Let's see what this one is. I haven't listening to this to see what's going on.
Hey, what's up, Trail Chasers? Love your show, first of all. This is Weberlander from Instagram. Always love listening to the show when I'm out on the trail. Mainly was commenting on episode 105 and the rooftop tent and bed rack discussion. I would love to help you guys kind of go down the right route, find the right product and path of your choosing, and especially with cost involved. I'm fortunate enough to be able to own 2 rooftop tents. My wife has one on her 4Runner, and it stays up there pretty much most of the time. But I have a Tacoma 2nd gen, and I have to get that rooftop tent off when I'm not using it for work. But I do utilize the bed rack quite a bit, so it stays on all the time. So anyway, would love to help out with that discussion. I'd be more than happy to email or send photos or do whatever I got to do to help you guys out. So be more than happy to be a part of that discussion. If you want to call me back, you certainly can. And again. Thank
Just
you.
edit
Yeah,
that
just-
part.
I
dude.
guess I could edit that part out. Yeah.
You pretty much just played the entire.
I know.
I did it. I
And you
panicked.
do edit.
I-
I'm sitting here thinking, why is he lowering the
I
volume?
panicked. I
He
panicked.
does the edit.
I was thinking live
We
because
are
we
not-
do
yes,
we
we're
do the
not
live.
live.
I panicked.
Yeah,
So
that's good though. You're ready. You're on the ball.
I was ready to
Yeah.
go. And Weberlander did reach out on Instagram on a message and said that he would help.
I have a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
Like, how do you take that 10 off?
Especially, sorry to cut you. Just especially because he does have to use his truck for work.
Yeah.
and you would be in the same boat. Like you'd have to figure out like what's the easiest way to take this thing off,
Yeah.
on and off every day.
How
or
do you have
every
it like
weekend.
some kind of rigging or something in your garage? I've already started looking and planning for that. But other than that, dude, let's have him on.
I'll send you. I'm going to send you a link via Instagram to where you can book
Schedule
a spot on the show, and we'll just have you come on and chat about it. And I also want to know what you do for a living. That you've got a 4Runner with a rooftop tent
And a Tacoma.
with a rooftop tent. And are you guys hiring? I mean, I don't know where you're living. I don't know what's going on out there, but clearly we're not doing something right.
I install. Hold on. Hold on.
I work at a
He
machine
installs,
shop.
No. He installs something. I was gonna say internet in Hammond,
No,
but I don't think
you
they
know-
have. I don't think they have internet in Hammond.
You know what I think he does? No, like I'm not trying to downplay his profession.
Just say for reals.
Commercial plumber.
Ooh, well, dude, commercial
They make
union
good
plumbers
money,
make
dude.
good
Oh, no,
money,
no,
dude.
of course they do.
You know that more than anybody.
I especially do now.
Yeah.
I work for essentially
union-
a union
A
plumbing
union guy?
outfit.
So
A
do
union
I.
commercial
My
plumbing?
shop is a union shop, and union pipe fitters and tin knockers do well.
Wait a minute, you just messed up right there
Tin
by,
knockers.
by comparing pipe fitters and plumbers.
No.
Whoa,
I'm saying,
buddy,
look,
there's a difference.
There's
there.
a huge difference, and
All right.
and they will. Anybody that's in the trade will give me a hard time. I was saying the shop I work
That's
for,
Cody.
No, the shop I
Yeah,
work for
Trailchasers.net.
is no. I was not comparing. I was saying the shop that I work for is pipe fitters and tin knockers. That's what
Right.
we have. I don't have plumbers at my company.
there
Hey,
you
so
go.
like
just
at
so
a-
you know, that's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
So at a company picnic,
They will tell you.
Are the pipe fitters and the plumbers talking shit to each other the whole time?
No,
Are they two sides of the same coin?
You know what? At Pan, we're still kind of integrating the mechanical side, so everybody's still new. There's not a whole lot of. I honestly, on our job, we don't have really any plumbing yet. There's been some, but nobody really. It's the company's so big, nobody really hangs out, or there's not really that kind of rapport yet. But you know.
So Jose thinks
I would
he's
give a plumber a hard time when I was in the field.
So Jose thinks he's a commercial plumber.
I do not.
What did you say he was?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
I
your,
thought
your opinion.
No, I thought you
You
were
said
telling-
Weberlander.
I'm a
No, Weberlander's.
Yeah,
Matt-
I think
Matt,
he's a commercial plumber.
What do you think? What do you think he did?
You know, I haven't seen his Instagram. I'd have to let me pull it up.
And
It's private, and I didn't realize I wasn't following him back, so I couldn't see it.
Man.
And the reason I say that is just because he owns a truck, and for some reason I just get a vibe that he's a hands-on kind of guy.
Yeah, he said he had to
Well,
use
that's
it for
probably
work.
most of our
Yeah.
listeners. Plumber's not a bad guess.
Commercial. I said commercial.
Whatever. You're chasing turds. It doesn't
Shit
matter.
chasers.
Yeah, dude. Hey, they know. They know. They hear it enough. Man, you know what? I don't know. I'm not gonna warrant a guess. It just seems like I don't know, pointless. Cable guy. He's a cable guy.
No,
Using
I
his
used to
own
be a cable guy, and
Yeah, he
No.
Yeah,
Okay, Jose.
a cable guy. Well,
Very judgmental. The way the look,
maybe yeah.
the look you gave me was like.
I think what Jose
no,
was saying.
he's above that.
Oh,
That's what I was saying.
Oh, all right.
Maybe his wife's like a corporate lawyer that makes $1 million a year. I don't know.
I was gonna say nurse.
God, yeah.
I don't know why.
She's a nurse.
Yeah, maybe my medium power is coming back.
I'm going to say he's an international spy,
Man of
international
mystery.
man of mystery, and he's got to use his truck to transport all of the,
All the dead
spy
bodies.
stuff.
Okay.
Spice.
So yeah, we should definitely. I think we should try and get him on.
Oh, absolutely.
Then we can ask him what he does. So you have that much. What was his name again?
Weberlander.
But didn't he say it's like
Weber.
Dan or something?
Maybe it works for Weber Grills. I don't know.
I don't remember. I was. I know him as Weberlander.
We'll have him on. He can come up. Maybe he can come up with a better job, so he can be more impressive when he calls in.
Well, I'm impressed either way. So Weberlander, I'm going to
not to say that there's anything, whatever that you should be ashamed. What's going on?
This is going down a very bad path. I'm going to send you a link so that you can book a spot so that we can have a conversation with you about it because we really definitely need some input before Matt goes out and spends all this money on the tent. And then we have one last email that we're going to share. Ready?
Voicemail.
I'm sorry, voicemail.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Casey.
And then,
And we just wanted to say, go, Pat, go! Go, Pat, go!
Go, Matt, go.
Go, Pat, go. So apparently there was a sports game this weekend, and someone named the Pack won. You know what? I have not watched more than 15 minutes of football this year. Like there was a time where I would watch every game. Like I had the DirecTV ticket, and that's what Sundays were.
Really? You're wrong?
Oh, I was.
Really?
It was, don't mess with me on Sundays. If you want to talk to me, I will be here watching football. And it was like, I had all the DirecTV channels.
Yeah, that red zone.
Yep, the whole thing.
Sunday ticket. You get
NFL Sunday
every
ticket. I
single
watched.
game.
That was what Sunday was. From the time I woke up, it was all the pregame, all the games, into the Sunday night football. Like, we didn't do anything on Sundays because that's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's my house.
And I just have really dropped off, especially since Presley was born. I think I've watched 15 minutes of football this year.
But how many times have you seen Frozen and Moana?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I miss Moana. We haven't watched it in a while. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. We watched Olaf's Frozen Adventure on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen that one yet, that one's really cute.
Oh, so you did subscribe to Disney Plus?
Yeah, oh yeah.
They got you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we were just talking about Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And how you think it's slow.
What I said was,
all right,
it's kind of slow, and Tammy has decided she doesn't care if she finishes to watch the rest of them, so I'm going to watch them on my own.
Did you become a millennial all of a sudden?
I would pay money
to become a millennial.
Wow. I would pay all $14 like that I own.
I've never been more proud than to be a Gen Xer. Like, especially when you realize you see like boomers and millennials like fighting and all this crap, and we're just like the we're like the ninja generation, like just sitting in the background. Nobody ever mentions Gen X.
No, because
I like it.
Yeah, we're totally in the middle.
We don't get blamed for nothing.
Range for a Gen Xer.
70 or late 60s to
80.
Late 70s, maybe 80. Yeah. Technically 81 is technically, what are they? Transitionals, I think is what they're called now. There's a period, there's the group in between.
That's a little
Isn't that something else?
Yeah. There's a group, or Zennials or something like that. There's a group between millennials and Gen Xers. Like if you went to high school and didn't have a cell phone, you're not fully a millennial. Like there's like Tammy's in that range, that early 80s. There's a couple years there where they get a pass on the millennial status.
This is just so you can not be a millennial. They give you
you get a pass if you're in that range.
If you didn't have a cell phone, dude, cell phones. I didn't get a cell phone till like
late
22. 10 years after high school.
Yeah,
that was not even.
You remember
close.
the Nextel? I remember in 97 or so,
Exactly.
98, the company I worked for had the Nextels, and it had and you had to chirp, the worst things ever.
Well, my dad had
I
it.
hated that.
My dad.
Wait, how about this? Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn it. That was like somebody trying to get a hold of you, and they'd send that. That was the alert that, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of you over the radio, idiot. And you couldn't ignore it because it would just keep every like 10 seconds. Beep, 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 beep. It's horrible.
Yep. Zennials. So Zennials are, they are, what does it say here? They are born on the cusp of the Gen Xers and millennials where they meet. So it says Gen X was 1965 to 1980 and millennials are 1981 to 96. So that tail end of the Gen X, front end of the millennials, they're calling the Zennials now. XENNIALS.
I'm primetime millennial.
You say tail end Gen X? Mm-hmm.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
The Trail Chasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. Hey everybody, we have Mike from Shower Pouch on the phone. You can find Shower Pouch at showerpouch.com. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on Gear Junkie. They've been reviewed on Gear Junkie. They've been on the Cool Things blog, and they've been on Tread Magazine. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having us today.
No, thank you.
Sorry, my business partner may be calling in a little late. He just had a little girl.
Well,
congrats to him.
Yes.
But you know how that parent life is.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to him. Hopefully he's having a good time. And, the whole sleep when they sleep thing. No one believes it, but sleep when they sleep. I want to go back to 2018, early 2018 or 17. There was the OC Overland meet at VTX Wheels, and that was the first time I saw the Shower Pouch and met up with you and OJ, and you gave me one or two of those to test out, and I used them pretty quickly. And then, we've run into you a couple times at events and on the trail, and I've really seen the Shower Pouch brand kind of like grow from just a booth at the VTX thing to what it is today. And talk to me about that. Talk to me about where Shower Pouch started and, what's led to its growth and success.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's funny you said that, because it did start off with the OC group kind of falling in love with us, with our products, since we're, close to proximity when they do events. But it actually started off in terms of like getting notoriety within the Overland community, or just off-road community, was an article that was written on Overland Journal.
Oh.
One thing led to the other, but they ended up writing a full review. And this was like right before, I want to say Christmas. And it just went crazy. And from there, all the magazines wanted to jump in that year. And we got a lot of interviews and testimonials from people trying the product. And that was roughly 3 years ago.
Wow.
Almost 3 years ago.
Wow.
So it picked up tremendously from just literally an idea. An idea actually sparked off because OJ, who's my business partner, he's a chemist by trade. And then for me, I'm a packaging engineer. And we were, working for a supplement company a while ago called Beachbody. And we were sitting at the bar like, man, we got to do a company for ourselves. And like, what can we do that's unique? And we were sitting at this bar in Salt Lake City. If you know anything about Salt Lake City, I love it. I was actually born in Ogden. My dad was in the military. But you can't get alcohol at the consumption you get out here in California. So we're sitting there with this really light beer. It takes as many drinks to even just like get some good conversation going, or just brainstorming ideas.
It's like we're 30 beers in.
Yeah.
30 beers in, equivalent to one beer.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're sitting there talking, and I was like, you know what? Working in consumer products, you always trying to figure out a product that you can develop that, one, is low cost of goods that you can actually have a decent margin in, and it meets a consumer need that doesn't exist today. So I shared an idea that I had. Talked with my father. He did his last deployment in Camp Leatherneck out in Afghanistan. He always talked about how these grunts and just military guys and women coming back from being out in the field, coming back smelling like, stench, really bad stench. Like, they would just use these baby products. You're like, these are adults now. Why are they using baby products? There has to be something better out there. And that was the idea that sparked back in like 2012. I'm like, I want to make an absolute best product that is better than any baby wipe on the market, because there's not many things that is tailored for the outdoor adventurer. So, and it just worked out that when I, spoke with OJ about it, he's a chemist. He's like, dude, we can easily knock this out of the park and do something completely different, because he comes from the consumer product space as well. And he mentioned like baby wipes are nothing but water and a little bit of soap. That's why you feel tacky when you use it. He's like, we can make some products that use essential oils, more organic things that people would like to use and smell that doesn't resemble smell like a baby's bottom.
Yeah, and
that's kind of how the idea kicked off.
And for those that aren't familiar, I wanted to wait until you kind of had this conversation.
I was just ask, describe the product.
Yeah, I wanted him to go, because I know what the product is. I think a lot of people do, but I wanted to hear this piece of it, so that now tell us what the product is. What is a shower pouch?
Oh, all right. So Shower Pouch is a full body wet wipe. It's 2 foot by 1 foot. It's about 3 times thicker than any baby wipe on the market. And we literally stand behind one wipe will clean you from head to toe.
I can attest to
do
that.
An ingredient story that was significantly different from anything on the market. Some of our competition, they use antibacterial products, which is not the best if you're saying full body, especially if you're talking about a woman. So we wanted to use essential oils, a good astringent, and organic scents that was pleasing, but yet whipped away very quickly after use and could be used across men and women.
And I've used the product, and I can attest to everything you just said. It does all of the things that you just said. I think the bamboo one was my favorite. The what is that?
Gosh, yeah.
What is that? It smells good.
Yeah, it comes in bamboo, cucumber, and unscented. Our unscented was actually originally designed when we were doing beta testing with these grunts from Camp Pendleton. And they're like, yeah, let's do that. But after they use it in the field, they're like, no, we actually like the scent better. So we did design the unscented for, the hunter, as well as anyone that doesn't want to have a scent. But the other 2 scents, they work great, but they wick away within minutes. And what's kind of cool about our product, since it's really compact, it's a single-use product, you can boil it in water, you can put it in your pocket, you can warm it up. You can't do that with a pack of baby wipes. So that's one of the most difficult things about wanting to clean up, especially out in Southern California, just out being in the desert. It gets cold at night, it's cold in the morning, and the last thing you want to do is put something wet. Because you put anything that has water in it, it pulls heat away from your body. So this is one way that we want to differentiate ourselves in using like a pack of wipes that you pull out individually. We wanted something that you can use for the moment that you need.
Yeah, and you guys, like I'm looking at your product page right now. If you go to the shower pouch, theshowerpouch.com, you can see all the different things that are there. But you guys have expanded from the shower pouch to the hand sanitizer to bath bombs and
to a full kit.
Yeah, I mean these are great ideas for those of us that are going to go on the Mojave Trail. And I'm looking at you two.
Yeah, why don't you buy me some?
I'm looking at you two. You need to go to.
You know what? I don't really care. How about that? How about I don't really care how I smell. If you think I smell bad, why don't you get me some of these?
I'm going to, because I think you do smell bad. But yeah, I mean these adventure pouches, these shower pouches. I mean, you can, especially like you think about. Okay, perfect example, Matt. Over the Christmas from Christmas to New Year's, we're out in the desert. It's muddy. You had the boys with you.
Yeah.
They were a train wreck from head to toe. 30 seconds after we got to dirt.
Yeah.
And like this, one
literally
of these
30 minutes. They were just little mud creatures.
So if we had a bunch of these with us, they could have completely wiped down prior to getting into the tent, and they wouldn't have gotten all my stuff muddy. I'm just saying, for me,
once again, another reason for you to invest.
Okay, I just realized, Mike, I need to buy a bunch of this stuff for my brother-in-law and my nephews.
But yeah, no, that sounds great. This and looking at
what's funny
the size,
about that, guys? Anecdotally, like when we do trade shows, probably over 80% of our sales are when the guy is with their significant other, and the woman walks up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I need this not only for myself but for my husband or my significant other." So, but however, online or on our website, majority of people buying it are guys. So we're trying to figure out what is the dynamic that's happening.
Well, I'll tell you what the dynamic is.
They're buying it for their wives.
Yeah, I tell you what the dynamic is. The wife is like, if you want me to go off-roading
I need
again,
to have a shower.
You better get me one more of these products.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's I mean I can for those of us that have been doing this a long, even if you're not like going for a long weekend trip, just having one of these, and I think the last pouch I used, it was on a day trip, and it was, in the summer, a lot of dust, like up in Big Bear or what have you. Halfway through the day, you're just covered in it. You want to wipe your face off, and you can fold it back up and still use it later. It's you have the option. I mean, you have the ability to be clean without smelling like a baby.
Exactly. And to answer your original, question, like, hey, you're expanding to these other categories. What we're trying to do is create a lifestyle product that, one is the baby wipe. We're trying to find other hygiene solutions for people who want to live outside but don't have access to a whole bunch of water. That's kind of the premise behind a lot of the products. The bath bomb was just an idea that OJ came up with. We were working with this contract manufacturer. We're like, hey, you can probably use this in the field. You can find a bucket of water from a river. You can clean those feet and get the stench away from the feet. Or you give it to your wife or your girlfriend and say, hey, I want to be gone for a few days with the guys. Here, take care. Use this bath bomb. this is a way to show my appreciation for letting me go out.
I didn't even know that bath bombs were really a thing until my 4-year-old daughter, started getting into them. And what they do with the kids is they sell these bath bombs with a toy in the middle. Oh. So you throw the bath bomb into the bathtub, turns everything pink. Everything pink or purple or turquoise or some crazy color like that, just so you could get a 30-cent plastic toy out of the middle. So every time we're at the store, she's like, I love bath bombs. Can I have a bath bomb? I'm going to buy her a whole bunch of shower pouch bath bombs. And she's going to be like bummed there's no toy in the middle.
There's no toy in the middle, dude.
Huh. Oh, so this is something like that dissolves in the tub or something.
Yeah,
okay.
it's an effervescent. You throw it in the tub, it bubbles up, and it's like it smells good. I mean, they're cool.
Hey, quick question. Does the water have to be hot for this thing to? No, it's just any temperature. Or?
Yeah,
any temperature. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the chemist on it. But we've actually had a consumer reach out to us and say we used it while we were out in the field, overland and camp. And I was like, how? They're like, we had some leftover water in our cooler. We just threw it in there, and I just wanted to get my feet clean. It just felt really bad.
That's a really good idea.
I never thought that someone would want to do that.
Yeah.
I thought it was mostly in your own personal bathroom or whatever. No, but people are actually using this out in the field.
Well, I could see it. Like if you're in Big Bear, it's summer, it's dusty, and you happen to wear a pair of sandals that day, and you're going to camp that night, and you realize, okay, I probably shouldn't have worn some sandals. Throw a bath bomb in a bucket with a little bit of water, and you're not funky climbing into the sleeping bag that night. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then talk to me about the tactical zipper bag.
Oh, so we partnered with a guy by the name of Overland Taylor. We reached out to each other, again, I'm all about trying to support local brands that are made in the USA, which our product is 100% made in the USA. And I said, let's do a cross collaboration because I just did our first PVC or rubber patches and say, hey, we'd love to put this in a bag where we can sell it as a kit. So, one thing led to the other. We sent him some of our patches. He sent us a sample. And since the inception and since we've launched, we've only used Overland Taylor for the past 2 years now. So we did it to help try to bring the products together, the portfolio stuff. We still have more things we're trying to launch. But the idea is that you buy this one hygiene bag and it has your shower pouches, your toothpaste, your deodorant. Think about all the things that you would need when you go out, especially like chapped lips. But that's how the bag idea came about. It's double stitch. It's super high end. They're using the same material that the military uses. So, wanted to give something that was more of a luxe experience versus something that's cheap that you can buy offline somewhere in China.
Well, and for $20 on your website, you get the pouch. And that's where you put all of your stuff in there, and it has the whole kit. Come on, it's a great deal.
Yeah.
That is a great deal. Comes in 5 unique colors and patterns. Dude, where's my cart? I got to drop that in the cart.
Yeah.
So from the marketing perspective, so again, I just rabbled off a couple of these places where you found your product being featured, and that came from a quick Google search. You just search shower pouch, all one word. You just search the power pouch, search the power shower. God damn it, Matt! Search shower pouch on Google, and you'll find a bunch of different articles. What have you done to get featured in these, if you've done anything?
It's funny you say that. So being a very strappy company, we, just for background, we don't have any venture capital money. All the funding is from me and OJ funding ourselves, right? So literally we'll go online. We'll try to find the writer of a particular blog on a magazine, and we'll just do whatever search we need to do. And somehow we find them, whether it be, and a lot of times it's usually through Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, and we'll say, hey, we have a product we'd love for you to try out, because we know our product is driven based off, the sensorial experience. So if you tell someone, hey, this is a body wipe, I'm like, oh, it's just a big baby wipe. So once we get in the hands of the writers, we just pray, hopefully, out of the 100 free samples we gave out, maybe one writer would say, you know what, this is worth writing an article. So the same thing kind of happened with like the Outdoor X4 magazine. That was separate from us. Somehow they found us. But once we had Overland Journal write the article on us, I would say the other writers within that industry just kind of gravitated and started reaching out. So it's been a little bit of them reaching out and us kind of pursuing them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think part of that's because it's such a damn good idea. I mean, I've been wheeling for a long time, and it's always buy a pack of baby wipes, and you got to go through 16 of them, and you smell like a baby and whatever. You just kind of accepted that. And then until this came along, this is a real...
There was no other option, and it was convenient and quick, and it was, And
this is a real life, really affordable solution to that problem.
Solution. I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I look. And what about the hand sanitizer? What's the I'm assuming that's just, what's the story behind that?
That's actually my all-time favorite product. So that's a packaging innovation. We wanted to solve a solution about how do you clean your hands if you're about to cook. A lot of the hand sanitizer out there, the packaging designed in a way where it can leak. It looked really weird if you put it in your front pocket. You had this little cylinder thing. Looks really weird. So we wanted something that looked like a flash, something that can sit flat against the body. And that's where we came up with that custom design. That holds like roughly 45 ml of product. But we also wanted to do, on top of the packaging innovation, by it being recyclable, also come with this formula story where we're adding aloe juice to it, so it doesn't dry out your skin as much as a traditional alcohol spray. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. There's no one else on the market that was kind of dressed into active adventure on the go. And it's funny, like I gave it to Mike Glover, who's the owner of Fieldcraft Survival, and he used our product all the time because he likes the fact that we're thinking about easy products that you can put in your front pocket, your back pocket on the go, which you can't have to worry about carrying big bulky things in your rucksack or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that's
how the idea came about.
And it's a great, like you said, the way that so picture a square, almost like a credit card that's got actually depth to it, and it's got a little sprayer on top. I mean, usually it's that more, like you said, a round cylinder, like a pop top and what have you. This is a great idea. This is a great packaging innovation, and I love that idea. It's I think it's something you could, like you said, keep in your front pocket, or like throw in one of the little cubbies in your truck so it's always there, as opposed to like one of the bigger odd shaped ones. Because I think most
it kind of looks like a thin deodorant roller, but half the width maybe.
Yeah, because I think most hand sanitizer packages are made to be set on the counter by the bathroom. With the pump on them, right? This is way better.
Exactly. Yeah. I forgot to mention that this is also leak-proof, so it doesn't have a cap that goes on top of the cap to ensure that you don't spray it. This thing could be left upside down; it'll never leak in your pocket.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. This is awesome. What other things other than the? I'm sure that you're constantly working on the marketing piece and growing the brand. What other kind of things are you guys working on, either from a products perspective or events perspective, or what kind of things do you have coming up?
Not to divulge too much information, but obviously hygiene has been thought about for the millennial, right? So we're looking at a bamboo toothbrush that is complemented with an organic toothpaste. We know, like, most people go out camping all the time and they're, trying to brush your teeth with that one bottle of water with them. Yeah. But there's different ways that you can deliver toothpaste. Imagine doing toothpaste in like a chiclet type style, or a little, almost like a piece of gum, but it breaks up in your mouth and then you're able to brush your teeth. So we're trying to find ways that are super convenient, doesn't require a lot of liquid. So that's one. We're looking at, obviously, a lotion, a deodorant stick that's kind of unique and different from anything else out there. There's some other thing. We got some reins in the fire. But again, like if OJ, I don't know if you jumped on the call yet, but he's the chemist. He has the brains behind a lot of these novel ideas. But we'll come up with something, and we're hoping before Expo West we have some things that we can beta test. We actually beta tested the hand sanitizer with consumers in real time to figure out scent profiles, the package look and feel. So we're going to do the same thing this year at Expo West.
Oh, very cool. Can you come up with a product that will automatically brush my 4-year-old's teeth so I don't have to do it? I swear to you, I
doing that. I got a 3-year-old.
I know. I swear it is like, open your mouth. Please open your mouth. I don't know why, but it is just...
My 2-year-old just bites the toothbrush.
Yeah. So it doesn't get any better, Jose. It doesn't get any better.
But My secret is tell them they got sugar bugs on their teeth. Say, the sugar bugs are eating your teeth.
Sugar bugs.
That's what I do.
Storybots. They're on Netflix. There's a show called Storybots, and they talk about, like, they teach kids a bunch of stuff. And there's one about the
teeth.
The teeth, about the how the sugar bandits come to town and wreck your teeth. So that is really, so what's the R&D process like? I mean, do you guys have a mad scientist lab? Or are you doing this in your garage and trying to figure it out? I mean, I don't want to divulge too much if you're like
no.
So what's that like?
So having a background in research and development, you do a thing called compatibility and stability study, right? So you want to do your package compatibility, make sure that your formula doesn't have any type of adverse reaction, like leaching or the color comes out. We also do stability testing, where it's a series of different tests to make sure that, again, that the formula stays stable. Like, for example, I'll just use our full body wet wipes. Obviously we put all these different formulas in there. You have to put things in there also to keep it stable so no micro growth happens.
Oh.
We have a little bit of alcohol in there to kill anything from living, because we give it a 3-year shelf life.
Oh, wow.
Hold on a second. I think Omar's calling me on three-way right quick. Let me see if I can buzz him in.
Okay.
All right, guys. I got OJ here. OJ, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, OJ, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
I forgot. What did I leave off? Oh, yeah.
You were talking about stability and
testing.
compatibility, yeah.
So,
You're using scientific terms that were really starting to confuse me.
look, I'm nerding out right now. But we do that along with consumer testing. This funny story behind the 2 foot by 1 foot, we realized that, especially with the grunts from Camp Pendleton, they said they had the hardest issue cleaning the center of their back. And they said, look, if you made it in the way where you can put it behind me and I can clean the center of my back without asking my battle buddy to clean me, he's like, what would that dimension be versus having a large square? It would turn out it was 2 feet. So that's the reason why we have the 2 foot frame on our
genius.
On
that
that.
is.
You can grab it from corner to corner and clean the center of your back.
That is
so
genius.
A lot of consumer testing, a lot of compatibility, stability testing, and just, even down to the artwork. We literally tested with consumers to make sure we met the needs of the consumer versus just picking something that we thought just looks cool. There's a lot of science behind how we got to where we were. Especially if you tried our product and you felt that little tingling sensation, that's actually a little bit of menthol. But when we first tested it with the grunts at Camp Pendleton, if you put menthol on your groins, oh my gosh, you feel like,
You know what?
it felt good, but man,
Hey, some people are into that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
it just puts a little pep in their step. They're running a little bit lighter. They're feeling pretty good.
yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well,
That's what goes into it.
well, we got OJ on the line, man. Congratulations on the birth of your baby girl.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, got me busy, got me some sleepless nights here, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
enjoy the hell out of it, dude. It's fun as hell. So with the R&D process, and you're kind of like growing. Are you guys doing this full time now? Are you at a point now where this is your full time gig?
Well, I can tell you, it's full time. I do have a job outside of Shower Pouch, but we're both doing this thing full time.
Yeah.
So there's no 50%, time. It's like once we leave our other job, we're doing 100% with this, even staying up past midnight.
Yeah.
But this is something we're both passionate about. I mean, Omar, do you have any thoughts on this as well?
Yeah, no, I mean, I spend all my free time with this. I mean, we do more than 40 hours a day on this. I mean, I do have a full-time job. Sometimes I'm even working on this while I'm at my work.
We won't tell anybody. We won't tell.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, because no one here has ever done that. None of us have ever edited a show in their office with headphones in, saying, "No, I'm on a conference call. Don't bother me." Well, I mean,
I haven't.
No, I know you haven't. So what's next? I mean, you guys are really, like I had said at the intro. I mean, I've kind of watched how, you were just kind of like a thing that I saw at an event to being, we've gone wheeling with you and you're in magazines and you're all over the place. What are the next steps for Shower Pouch?
Believe it or not, it's actually increasing more sales channels. Our direct-to-consumer business is doing very, very well. It's very, very healthy. However, in order to get to more consumers, we are now looking to move into retail, and now is trying to find that right strategic partner that makes sense for our brand, that doesn't diminish it, that takes pride that something's made in the USA, and it can be sold directly to our target consumer, which is the outdoor adventurer. I don't want Shower Pouch sitting right next to a pack of baby wipes,
Yeah.
But if it makes sense, to help drive them to use our product, but we're trying to find the right strategic partner. There, we are in conversation with a couple of retailers. Can't divulge right now until
Well, if anybody
sign at the dotted line.
If anybody from Bass Pro Shop or REI is listening to this, you need to jump on this product before somebody else does, and you're going to miss out on the boat. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Believe it or not, all of our customers is really word of mouth that has been really driving most of our sales. I think we have a lot of untapped potential also in social media. So this year we're really going to hit up Facebook, Instagram, and really try to get some more customers that way. But like Mike said, yes, we are looking for a strategic retail partner to also get some sales there.
Yeah, I think that's what makes your product so cool is that you guys grew organically. Like you guys just pushed it off. You start off with your friends, and then it just organically grew into reaching the off-road masses.
Yeah, and you guys have done a great job with the social media piece of collaborating with the likes of Mountain Hatch and Trail Recon and some of the. And we've met the Mountain Hatch guys. They can use a shower pouch every once in a while,
or two.
Fred and Greg, they need to be wiped down every once in a while. I'm just saying. I've been out with you guys, Joe. You guys could use some shower pouches. But no, you guys have really done a good job of collaborating with the right people, and I think that's a testament to your product, and the testing that you did with the grunts in Camp Pendleton, to where you've made something that's viable, that actually works, and that people are like, yeah, once they get their hand on it, this is great. I need these. So kudos to you for building the community around a product that you believe in.
Thank you. It goes without saying, like, you can come up with a very flashy product that looks good on the internet or whatever, but it has to work, so to have credibility, one, in the hobby of overlanding and off-road and just be an outdoor adventurer, but to also make a product that works, it goes hand in hand, so we definitely appreciate you bringing us on to kind of talk through our passion behind, developing Shower Pouch and all our new products that are coming in line. But no, we definitely appreciate it. No worries. Are you guys do you have any events coming up? Anything that you're going to be at, whether have a booth or just attend in the upcoming months? Yeah, so we're definitely going to do Overland Expo West, as well as the one in Overland in Colorado. Okay. King of the Hammers, we found, it's funny that we bring up like some of the off-road community. Overlanding, the overlanding consumer with the high disposable income, they're the ones who tend to gravitate towards our product, where the off-roaders, when we've done some of the shows that are strategically off-road, we've had some challenges, so we know there's an opportunity for us to kind of figure out how to break into that. But we do a lot of the adventure van expos, a lot of the local SoCal off-road and just outdoor community. We're trying to get into the mountain bike community. But for now, the big thing that we have coming up is Overland Expo West and Colorado. And you know what? Dirt bike community. I would have loved to have one of these in my backpack when we were out on the dirt bikes, because you're open, even you get a helmet and goggles on, the rest of your face is coated. It's just all muddled up, full of mud. Yeah, no, that's that. And think about that. You could fit that in the side pocket of your riding pants. Go out into the middle of nowhere, clean off. Where would I put my beer? you can wrap that around. It'll conform to the shape of your beer. It'll conform. But yeah, I would think dirt bikes, quads, side by sides, like that community right there would be a huge for your market. And the side by siders are typically families. It's usually, So Jose, in Jose's case, you wouldn't have to bring that Coors Light to bathe yourself with. Because that's
I'm very utilitarian. Everything I have, it has to have at least two purposes.
Two purposes? Okay. Well, after
maybe you can try chewing on one of those.
You go halfway out, use the shower pouch to clean off. When you get back, you pour the Coors Light back into the shower pouch
just and to use that. Repack it.
So that's the next scent. Your next scent is Coors Light scented shower pouch.
Yeah, keep all the women away from you.
Coors Light.
Just put some mountains on the outside of the package. Just let me know when it's ready.
Oh, that's funny. So did you say that you guys are going to be at King of the Hammers?
We'll probably go and just kind of assess if it would be a fit. But King of Hammers, from being a brand that's trying to showcase product there as an exhibitor, it's pretty costly. So right now, again, being 100% self-funded, every show has to make sense because a lot of these shows are not cheap, and sometimes for some brands, it's more marketing than anything. For us, it's like marketing, and we got to generate some revenue.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, I mean, we're gonna go. We're planning on going to the King of the Hammers, not as a vendor or booth, or just kind of as a bunch of chuckleheads going to check out some cool rides. That's what we're going to do.
We might interview people too.
Yeah.
Save some Coors Light for us.
I will not, sir.
I will.
Hey, Jose, I know you like dual-use products, so I don't know if you know, but one of the things that makes a shower pouch good is that you actually put it on the washer and dryer, and it becomes a lint-free cloth.
There you go.
There you go. Dual use right there, Jose.
Thank you, sir.
That's awesome.
You can wash Coors Light, and it becomes what?
No,
wait. What else can I do with other than drink Coors Light?
Brush your teeth with it.
That's the last thing.
We talked about it last week. You could pour it on a puncture wound on your foot to make sure it's clean. That was all Coors Light.
Sterilize a wound. Brush your teeth.
That was because that was at the river. That was Coors Light.
Oh, that's true.
Hydrate.
Yeah. Well, look, guys. I think you guys have a great product. I think it's a perfect fit for the outdoor, overland, off-road community. And I'm glad to see that a couple guys that had a great idea and some passion of putting their all of their work into this. I'm glad to see that it's growing and building, and kudos to you guys for creating this thing. And I really hope that it grows to a level where there's a shower pouch mansion somewhere in the hills that you can invite us to and come hang out at.
Oh, dude, we're looking forward to that day.
All right. Well, anything else before we cut you guys loose? Anything else you want to announce or talk about?
No, just again, thank you for having us. For those who are new to hearing about Shower Pouch, you can find us at theshowerpouch.com. Our handle is Shower Pouch. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest if you're into that. So, but no, again, thank you for having us. Omar, you got anything to say?
No, same thing here. Just thank you for having us on your show, and we can see you guys around on the shows and other places.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time. I appreciate it, and we'll have to make sure we got each other's contact information so we can catch up at the Hammers if we're out there. So, thanks a lot, guys. You guys have a great night.
Will do. Take care, guys. Bye.
Hey everybody! Hey everybody! We are live. It's a little bit later than normal. It's 7:45 Best Coast time, and so we made a decision that the live portion of the show will be done when it's just the three of us talking. We've had too many technical issues trying to get the interviewer call-in person to come on the get the audio synced up, and so for the time being, we're going to scrap it and. We'll only do live when it's the three of us. So right now, it's just the three of us. We just finished our interview with Mike and OJ from Shower Pouch. Really good interview. Those guys were really good. And we're going to jump into what I think will be considered the most controversial conversation we've ever had.
We're not talking about... Are we going to go McDonald's versus Burger King this week?
I know that we talked about and said Matt and Jose don't know this is coming, and I've intentionally not brought this up.
Oh, this is going to be great.
So we are going to embark on a discussion. I did a thing today, guys.
Okay.
I went and test drove a Ford Ranger and a Gen 3 Tacoma.
I'm glad you brought this up.
So, backstory here, I've been having some conversation about getting a new truck.
Did Toyota tell you not to drive their truck anymore because
Yeah, they're like, you know what,
you
sir?
were being embarrassed by a Frontier.
So I've been having some conversations about this. It's kind of been loose. It's gotten a little bit tighter recently. I'd made a comment to Matt via text about getting a new truck, and he said, "What are you going to get? A Gladiator?"
No, I said it like get the Gladiator.
Get the Gladiator. Okay, Matt said get the Gladiator, and I said no, I'm going to get a Ranger, and he said we can no longer be friends.
Womp womp.
Yeah, we can't hang out anymore.
You don't want to. No, I said obviously you don't want me to hang around anymore. You're just going to make that call.
Well, I want to have this discussion, and I've been.
You're going to park it around the corner when I come over.
I've thought about getting a big blue oval and mounting it right behind me on the wall, so you had to stare at it for the entire show.
I'll just phone in.
So here's what I want to have a conversation about. So I've got my Gen 2 Tacoma. Love the truck. Great truck. It's got 95,000 miles on it, and
but you've had it for a couple years, and as you know, as I know, you can only have a vehicle for so long.
I know.
You have to get rid of it.
I know.
And you were the opposite when it comes to
I know. That is definitely a thing for me. It's got 95,000 miles on it. It's a Toyota. Everybody says it's just getting broken in. I'm sure I'd get another 100,000 miles out of that without even trying, right?
Well, no, you're not. You're going to get rid of it.
You're like, it runs great. It's trouble free. I need a new truck.
I want to get a Ford. This is the logic. With the conversation is starting already. Jose just hit the nail on the head. I got a truck that's going to run forever. It's just getting broken in. I'm going to get rid of that shit and go get a Ford. Oh man, that's
so. I haven't decided to do anything yet. This is just an exploratory conversation. Okay,
it's going.
This is how it starts.
So let's go
man.
through this. Okay, and this goes along the logic of Matt buying the Frontier. This is along the same kind of logic, right?
It doesn't sound, dude. Ford. It doesn't sound anything like logic to me.
No, here
flawed logic.
So here's what I'm saying. If I, via the CarMax website, if I went to buy a 2019 Tacoma with low miles on it, 4,000 miles, it's $36,000, right? That's the cost of a 2019 Tacoma.
Look,
TRD off-road.
Let's pause real quick.
But that's it's gonna be that same price 5 years from now. With
that is true.
You know.
Oh, true. Absolutely true.
So last week, a curveball got thrown in my household, and I thought we were gonna have to buy a new car.
Huh.
So
you want to buy my truck?
I said new. So I as soon as it's like, okay, we'll go look this weekend. Like that was Wednesday. I was like, okay, I'm gonna look. I would do the past 3 days when I was working. I was like on Auto Trader.
Yeah.
So the Tacoma was the number one top of my list because that's the truck I've always wanted.
Yep.
When I bought that shitty Ford the first time, I wanted the Tacoma, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So whatever. But the cheapest I found, a brand new 2020. So the 2019 doesn't come with Apple CarPlay. 2020 does.
I know. We'll talk about that.
So, and that's like a big thing now because I bought my wife a radio that has it's a game changer, dude.
It is.
Anyways,
okay, really quick. Why? Apple CarPlay is
dude, yeah, it's because you're not initiated yet to the whole Apple.
Neither are you, dude.
I am now. We have a car with the radio
right,
has it now.
So you did buy a car?
No, Letty's car. We put a radio.
The radio that has the CarPlay. Yeah,
it's a game changer. But anyways,
can you explain just really quick why? Because it's your phone syncs up to the radio.
Your phone syncs up, right?
Okay.
So now you have Google Maps, messages, phone calls, everything on the screen.
Yeah, that happens with my truck. I don't have no Google or Apple or any of that playing.
Yeah, but it works. Like
I
touch
touch the screen when I want to answer the phone through the truck.
Yeah, you've got Bluetooth connectivity, but it's not the same. It's full integration.
It looks just like Google Maps on Apple.
I can scroll through apps.
No, well, dude, the front you bought a Frontier. I don't know what to tell you.
But so the cheapest. So it's funny you brought this up today because the cheapest I found
game changer.
It's a game changer.
All right.
The cheapest I found, the 2020 Tacoma was like $36,000.
Yeah. So a 2019 Tacoma TRD off-road, which I'm not going to get anything that doesn't have a rear locker, so that's a TRD off-road, $36,000, right?
You spend $1,000 more, you get a 2020.
Yeah, exactly. Now, granted, this one only has 4,000 miles. It's basically a brand new truck, right?
People have farted in it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
There is. So I found.
Have you factored that? No. Did you put that on a spreadsheet? Did you factor how many farts per mile?
Jackass. I found a 2018 Tacoma TRD off-road with almost 40,000 miles on it for 31,000. Okay, 2018. Not throwing the 4Runner into the mix yet, but I can get a 2019 Ranger with less than 20,000 miles on it for $28,000. That's the Ranger FX4 that's got the rear locker. Here's the thing. Now, Matt, you drove
the blue oval on the front. Really,
yes, I know, but you drove.
No, it was an impressive truck.
And
you rode in the Icon one.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Look, I clown around, but that was a really nice truck.
Tammy wants me to get the orange one.
That's the one I was looking at.
The stock, I don't care for. That's not our brand. You're supposed to be in a white truck.
I know. That's why she I said. She's like, if you want to just be a sheep and get a white truck, but that's been our thing.
That's kind of our thing. But whatever.
Tammy likes the orange one.
Orange would be cool.
So my point is, like, there's a couple. I can get a 2019 Lariat, which is the full leather, top trim, FX, everything, for $34,000. That's a 2019 with only 12,000 miles versus.
But that's like 80,000 Toyota miles.
Versus, yeah, true. No, okay. I had a conversation with the guy when I was doing the test drive, and he was like, Toyota reliability, you'll get couple 100,000 miles. And I said, that's great. I've never had a vehicle that long. Like, I've never owned a vehicle long enough to worry about
to the wrong
200,000 miles. So one of the things that I found interesting in my research and that I want to talk about is I found on cars.com, you can pull up a comparison of a bunch of vehicles. Ignore the Dodge Ram on there because that came as an advertisement. I can't make it go away. But if you look at the current Gen 2 Tacoma that I have, 236 horsepower versus the 2017 Tacoma, because right now, for a comparably priced vehicle, I'm going to have to go to a 2016 or a 2017 Tacoma with 40 to 50,000 miles on it for the same $30,000.
Okay, but before we go comparing all the different models, how were your tests? Because you say you test drove, right? The Ranger and the Tacoma.
I did. I test drove them. I was able to ride in the Ranger at the Icon event, and we can go back to the video. I was impressed. I was really impressed with that truck, with the Icon. And that's a large, in part, to the Icon suspension on that truck. You could take a turd box and put Icon suspension on it, and it'll probably be pretty impressive.
Did you test drive a turd box?
If I could get a turd box.
Did you test drive the Ford turd box?
No, I'm telling you, I see that truck at work all the time.
Yeah.
And I love the way it looks.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's great. I will talk about the test drive and the differences, but I want to go through this first because let's look at it empirically.
All right, and then
through the numbers, and then objectively through the
experience,
the feeling. So looking at
very very mathematical, very planned out.
Yes,
scientific method.
So
yes,
looking at the 2013 Tacoma, which I currently have, has 236 horsepower. The 2017 Tacoma, and like I said, I think that's where I'm going to be. It's going to be probably a 2017 TRD off-road for the same price.
Yeah.
Puts out 278 horsepower. The 2019 Ranger puts out 270, so only 8 horsepower less, but still 9 horsepower more than the 2018 Nissan Frontier. The transmission...
Except if I'm driving. If I'm driving, you add like another... infinite horsepower. I don't know the math.
I know. The transmission in the Ford Ranger is a 10-speed automatic with overdrive. The 2017 Tacoma is the 6-speed automatic. Now, there's been a lot of issues, and I say issues, I don't know how to...
Well, it was a lot of gear hunting, apparently, with the third gen.
There's a lot of gear hunting.
But they reflashed the ECU on the transmission, so apparently it doesn't do that anymore.
Well, I spoke to someone whose name will be withheld because I didn't ask if I could use their opinion.
What does it rhyme with?
But I said, you went from a Gen 2 to a Gen 3, right? And do you have any regrets? And he said, yes, I did. Yes, I do. He said the drivetrain on the Gen 3 is nowhere near as good as the Gen 2. And after
Is
lifting...
this day-to-day driving or four-wheeling?
Both.
Oh, okay. This is a four-wheel
yes,
a
this
wheeler.
is
And
someone that
I've gotten the same story from a guy at work.
and he said after he lifted it and put 33s on it, he had to spend $1,800 to re-gear it to make it drivable again.
Oh, no. What?
Yes. So on top of that
Gross.
$36,000, you're
You
looking
spend
at
2
15
grand,
to 2
2
grand
grand
to
to
re-gear.
re-gear.
Okay. Now, per firsthand experience, I took both of these for a test drive today, down the same route, and I kind of got into it on the pedal at the same point. And the Tacoma lurched, like you could feel it. It's like the power band is way higher up in the rev.
Don't tell me this.
And so as you're going up, you feel it shift, and then kind of like I don't want to say lurch. It's like it wasn't a smooth like transition from gear to gear.
There was like a hesitation,
you knew,
right? There's
you knew that the transmission is doing something right now, like that's happening. And the Ford, smooth.
Well, I mean, there's more gears.
10-speed, right?
Yeah. So that was a real thing. Couple other things that are interesting of note. What I didn't like about the Ford, the back seat is all one seat. There's no 60-40 split. So like if I have to put the car seat in and I need to get underneath the seat, the car seat's got to come out. Whereas the Tacoma, you've got the split, right? So I didn't that part I didn't appreciate. The overall feel of the interior, the Tacoma is consistent with what the Tacoma is. It's fairly Spartan, utilitarian, rugged, no frills. The Ranger feels modern.
Well, you have options too.
Yes. Yeah, the Ranger feels like a modern new truck with new truck interior, and you're not, and I love my Tacoma, but it's basically a 2005 model, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of dated. I don't care about safety stuff.
Heck no.
Yeah.
Keep on scrolling.
Scroll past the safety
Scroll
stuff.
past that shit, baby.
One of the things that I found interesting was that and there's a couple different options, like you said, on the instrument cluster of the Ford.
Yeah.
The Tacoma instrument cluster was nice, a nice big flat dash. Like it's super like right there. You can get to it. The buttons seem big and bulky, not bulky, but I mean like easy to get to. The Ford had either there was one that had like the smaller touchscreen or the big touchscreen, and the buttons were definitely more car-like, where they're kind of like, they're not individual buttons. It's like a button cluster, and you have to make sure you press the right one.
Isn't that like an argument? You're not driving a car. You're driving a truck.
No,
a truck should kind of be trucky.
And that's,
the ride. When I hear people complain about, I don't really like that suspension on that truck.
Well,
it's a truck. It's a freaking truck. It shouldn't, it has a bed. There's no weight in the back. So, if they're able to somehow engineer it, all right, cool, great, whatever.
It's called cement bags.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I knew a guy that had to do that with his Dodge.
But I don't care. I bought a truck. I know I'm driving a truck.
Yeah, and me too. I enjoy driving the truck, but that's
same thing as far as the accents in the interior. I guess that's just my mentality, especially when I bought my truck. It was all the things that I heard that were negative about the Frontier. Well, the frame, it's the heavy frame. I'm like, I want that. That's right. Give me that heavy frame. I want stout, sturdy, robust. Oh, well, the controls are dated. It's very truck-like. Yeah,
Good.
Exactly. Thank you. So anyhow, but so what you're saying is the Ford, the Ranger was very modern.
Yeah, it was modern, nicer, newer, and this goes back. I've never been nearly as negative on Ford as you guys have, and and in my last role where I had that F-150 STX, that was a really nice truck. I really enjoyed driving it every day. I drove it to Vegas and back every other week. I mean, that was a comfortable, enjoyable drive.
Well, let me also the caveat I'll put on my Ford experience. Every Ford I've ever driven, were all work trucks.
Yeah.
And they were never like a loaded. Every interior was plastic
and rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We treated on the same boat.
And again, I just talked about, you're talking about a truck and whatever. Yeah, but it was not fun to drive.
No.
At all.
And we treated them like crap. We loaded them down with equipment heavier than they should have been loaded, and we didn't take care of them.
I will say that. I drove them hard, and I can't recall having a major problem with any of my. So we're talking a 12-year stint driving Fords every day, and I didn't have any major issues. Not like Jose.
Yeah, my story is completely opposite.
Yeah, Jose's whole experience was a shit show.
I just didn't like it. And my personal truck was a Chevy. It was to me, a night and day difference. The Chevy would shit and get, it felt more sporty, and I liked the way the engine revved out and the shift pattern, whatever, in all of my Chevys, as opposed to that F-250, super heavy
duty.
Truck. Yeah.
See, and just real quick, my experience with Ford is I bought a brand new 2014. So it was the last year of that generation truck, F-150, the V8. I had a dealer maintained the whole time. Within a year and a half, that I needed a new short block with the engine. Alternator went out, the battery went out. And then the final straw, the transmission went out.
Yeah.
That was $3,000 out of my pocket.
Wow.
And I sold it.
Yeah, no, you have a very legitimate Ford gripe.
Yeah.
I don't
That's the only Ford I've ever bought. That was the first brand new truck I've ever bought in my life.
No, I don't begrudge you that, because you got hosed on that whole deal. MPG, miles per gallon.
Yeah.
The Ford, because it's the
10-speed.
The 10-speed 4-cylinder turbo, gets better gas mileage. It has a smaller gas tank, which whatever is not a big deal. There was a couple of things I should have highlighted.
What was the gas tank again?
18 on the Ford. So it was 18.
No, I want to look at mine because
Oh.
I run it pretty. It's 18 gallons.
No, I think the Frontier had a 21-gallon tank.
Hey, Matt, what kind of mileage do you get on your truck? 18 or something like that?
Maybe
on a
17.
good day?
I don't even look at it. I really don't want to know. I'm very heavy footed, and my truck's fun. I mean, that thing got a very low first gear.
Yeah.
You can tromp on it. It spins the tires.
Yeah.
Spins the.
Yeah.
It'll spin the Nexans. So it's cool.
So size-wise, I found it interesting that the Ford is right in between it's like the Tacoma's the bigger, the high end at 212 inches, the Ranger's at 210, and the 2013 Tacoma's at 208, and the Nissan's at 205. Wheelbase is similar. The Ranger is right. It's not as big as the Tacoma.
They're all plus or minus one.
Yeah, it's not, but it's not as big as the Tacoma. A little bit bigger than the Frontier. Same thing with turning radius, all of this stuff. Here's where it gets interesting. So the horsepower, like we said on the Ranger, is 270 versus 278 on the Tacoma, but the torque, 310 versus
turbo,
265, and it is 100% noticeable when you drive it.
Yeah,
you put your foot in it, like that low end, you turbo feel it. Whereas the Tacoma has to get up.
You have to ring it out. The Tacoma, I feel like you have to ring it out.
You have
to the high RPM.
You don't feel the power in the Tacoma until you get to a higher RPM. At least that was my experience. The weight, so it's 44.41 for the Ranger, 44.45 for the Tacoma, basically the same weight. The Frontier is 100 pounds heavier.
Wow.
Just that frame.
100 pounds,
That's that heavy.
It's
Give me that full frame, baby.
Matt's driving it.
That's driving it. You add a couple more.
Yeah, you gotta add a couple zeros.
Move that decimal point, baby.
The interesting part is that with the 4-cylinder, the GVWR for the Ranger is higher, is almost 1,000 pounds higher than the Tacoma. I don't know that this number is accurate. There's 3,500 on the trailer weight, but it says 3,500 on the trailer weight, 6,100 on the Frontier.
Look at that Frontier, baby.
Yeah, 6,100 on the Frontier. Passenger volume wise, when you look at all of these dimensions, I'm looked at them. To your point, Jose, it's a half-inch here and half-inch there. I felt like in the Ranger there was more room.
Okay.
It definitely in the back seat. The back seat of the Ranger definitely has more room than the back seat of the Tacoma.
Leg room. Why you just skipped the leg room?
Yeah,
What was that?
rear leg room, 34 and a half
okay.
inches for the Ranger, 32 and a half for the Tacoma.
right.
And even that 32 and a half for the Tacoma seems like a generous. Yeah.
Really?
It just didn't, like in the Tacoma, and you've seen the back, you've been in the back of my Tacoma. There's not a lot of room back there, right? And, not that I'm routinely packing full-grown adults back
but
there.
it's nice to know if you ever do want to take someone, they're not going to be all cramped back there.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you
Get back there. Shut up.
Yeah.
when you look at the numbers, there is
Shove him in. Just slam the door behind him.
You're not driving. Sit back there.
Here's another thing that it's going to sound kind of lame to some people, but it was a big deal to me. The Ranger had more USB port type power supplies, and in the Ranger in the back seat, it has air conditioning vents, 2 USB ports, and a 110 outlet. The Tacoma doesn't have any of that.
You got to connect all your laptops.
Well,
make sure
so
they're charged
here,
up.
if you're a salesperson,
So does that mean you can have more screens in your vehicle in the back seat just in case?
so Presley can have her screen in the back seat. But no, my F-150 had that, and I will tell you, I've been to job site meetings or gotten someplace
it's
where you
very
need to plug
usable.
in and either charge your devices while you're driving. I've charged devices like your laptop while you're driving to Vegas or driving to a job site, or gotten someplace, plugged in your laptop and done some work for a while. I mean, that is a real usable tool.
Look, it's stuff you don't need, but it's like great to have.
You don't need it till you need it.
Right.
The Ranger driver's seat is like 8-way powered positional.
Well, 2020 Tacoma fixed that.
So I got to spend $45,000 to get a powered.
$1,000 more than the 2018.
Yeah. So 2018 is no power adjustment. There's no height adjustment on the Tacoma.
No.
Yeah, look, you said it once and then that's it, right? You're talking seat adjustment?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, so one of the things I've noticed that I've been driving my truck more for work, the lower seating position, I have to my left ankle, the one I recently had surgery on, it's almost like it's flexed all the time. Like my foot is down and it's pointed all the time. Yeah. So when I get out of the truck, I limp because it's like, man. And I've been trying to find the right place to put my foot. If I could raise that seat a couple inches.
So did they fix that problem with the new Tacomas?
No, 2020, you have an adjustment, but 2016,
for height. Because that is when I complain about your truck, number one is that seat position being so low.
Yeah.
2020,
it's electric. Yeah, it's height adjustable.
Okay.
And I will tell you this,
that is a big man, it bugs me.
Game changer.
Yeah, I know.
For me, I would not buy. That would be number one. Like, I can't. I would have to go 2020.
Yeah.
I really.
It's
that uncomfortable.
You've complained about the comfort of the seats in the Tacoma before.
The seats are it's the height. Like it's like because you're sitting. So
but it's
low
only the driver's side, not the passenger.
No, passenger side the same.
No, I'm saying the 20. Like they only fixed the seat issue.
Yeah,
this is the driver's side, not the passenger side.
And I will tell you, sitting in the Ranger, and then going and sitting in the Tacoma. It's like sitting in an a lazy boy, and then going to sitting in a lawn chair.
On a lawn chair.
Sit on an egg crate.
It was. I was sad I really expected to go in there and go, okay, it's a plus or minus here or there, no big deal. It's really going to come down to a good deal or whatever. But there were enough differences to where you're like, man, if I had to drive this every single day,
that is a huge factor.
It was ridiculous. Like,
because you are driving this every day, right?
Yeah, I'm driving it every day now,
dude. Yeah. I watch so many videos, right? I'm on YouTube all the time.
Yeah,
that's right here.
Yeah, when I'm working.
You're on YouTube right now.
Anyways, yeah, dude. It's like you gotta really want the Tacoma because you gotta put up with all these small things that like should be fixed by now, right?
Yeah. You mentioned Apple Play, so the Ranger has Android Auto, Apple Play. It had a couple other features that you were like, oh, how come the Tacoma doesn't have? Like, I didn't realize that that's not a thing. Like, it's 2019. Like
headlights.
It has headlights.
Seat warmers. It doesn't have seat warmers.
It has rear disc brakes. The Tacoma is still drum.
Wow.
The Ranger has seat warmers.
Man, we took a real left turn with the Tacoma here. All of a sudden, we're a Ford podcast.
No. We're going to change the show to be the Trail Rangers. Welcome to the Trail Rangers podcast.
Jose, do you want to start another podcast? Just me and you, dude. It's all about wheeling and conspiracy theories.
So yeah, see, 4-wheel disc versus front disc rear drum. Which, I mean, really in 2016, 17, and 18, when they redid the Gen 3 Tacoma, why would they not go to disc brakes and back?
Money.
They're already charging you 10 grand more than everybody else.
Right. And people are buying them.
Yeah, people are buying
they can, because they can. Period. If we start a
Toyota's
trend,
Toyota's argument was like it's true. Most of the braking power is done by the front brakes.
Sure.
And they find it that they don't need.
Well, and that was another thing so the transmission.
But think about if you're wheeling though, right? And you go through water or something. Well, that drum's just filled with water.
Yeah.
So your brakes are not going to be as effective initially. It's going to take time.
Trust me.
That's just.
I know. I drove a 68 Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I had a pump when it rained.
Yeah.
I had a pump before I got to the stop sign, or else I wouldn't stop.
Yeah. Wow. Another thing I did that was in the favor of the Tacoma. So when I drive my truck, I downshift a lot. I use even though it's an automatic,
noticed that,
I
dude.
downshift a lot. Part of it's because the brake. I don't feel like I feel like I have to lay into the brakes sometime to get it to stop. But that's just because of the way I drive. That has nothing to do with the Tacoma. Yeah, I drive quick and stop late. But so I just, as a habit, I downshift a lot. In the Tacoma, the new transmission has the sport mode where you shift it over once and you go up and down, right? Mm-hmm. The Ranger doesn't. The Ranger has a plus and a minus, right? No, plus and minus button on the side of the transmission. Okay. So, which the one thing I noticed was, if I was coming down an on-ramp, I had to hit the downshift multiple times because now instead of going through 6 speeds, you're going through 10 speeds. Yeah, but I don't know that
you're not going to do. You're going to change your driving.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I don't know that I we do that if I had
leaving it. Yeah, you'll modulate with the throttle instead of going through the gears.
But I mean, it's a very. I feel like they're comparable vehicles in the. It's a same mid-sized truck, 4-wheel drive. The FX4 has the rear locking differential. It has multiple, they call traction modes.
It's like a crawl control.
They have traction modes for mud, for snow, for whatever.
Those are just gear ratios.
Yeah, it changes the crawl ratio.
No, it's like the setting. It'll climb up the hill on its own.
Yeah, well, just like the Renegade has mud, sand, snow, that kind of stuff. The traction.
Yeah, but it ain't climbing up anything on its own.
No,
Cody's. It's like the crawl control on the new
one. Yeah, I don't. But yeah, there's a crawl control mode.
It's like cruise control off road.
You literally put it in neutral, take your foot off the pedal, put it in crawl control, and it'll just go by itself, right? Which I don't know that I need that. I want a wheel.
Yeah. Does it levitate?
But I guess my thing was, going back to this the comments that we made about the Frontier, where you feel like
looking at all that stuff, I'm still super stoked with my Frontier. Dude, that thing's hanging in there like a champ. No, horsepower and torque, towing, all that stuff was right in the
as you should be, and you got it for. Again, we talked about my 2013 was 30,000 when I bought it. Mm-hmm. You bought a 2018 for 24.
Yeah.
So, I mean, very, very comparable. This conversation about the Ranger is very I'm having a hard, other than my love for Toyota, the eventual resale value, and the community around a Toyotas, I'm having a hard time justifying the additional $8,000.
Okay. I think it'd be cool if you wheeled, because knowing how it's gonna be interesting. Because me and you, how we're gonna get in that truck. I'm already doing it. I'm already doing it in mine, stock. You're gonna get after it in that thing. Wow, man, in that Ford.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen a Ranger out on the trail yet.
No.
Getting after it.
I did.
So
there's someone that we.
This would be really interesting. I mean, there's a lot of potential content. And you know what? Really, it can only be bad because it should be able to keep up with me and Jose and whatever. But if it doesn't, oh my God.
Well, let me tell you, I had made the comment to Tammy about how this would be great content. And she's like, I don't know that show content is what we want to base our financial decisions on.
No, look, dude. I've looked at the Ford Ranger, like, but I can't, dude. I'm gonna have to move into your house if I ever came home with another Ford.
Oh, what? Damn it, Jose.
Yeah.
Damn it, Jose. What's the time marker on
Jose,
that?
you ever hear that saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice?
Yeah, ask George
shame
Bush
on
about
me.
it.
This is
He knows
this
that
is
saying.
exactly.
Yeah, I know.
He has no bad experience.
No,
You
I've
should
had
know
the
better.
worst. I've had the worst,
Yeah.
and there's no way I would ever buy it again.
But
Yeah.
you just said you looked at a Ranger.
On the internet. I didn't
Oh,
go
okay.
look at it. I didn't
Yeah.
go look at it. I didn't test drive one like someone here.
Test drive.
Yeah, I mean, how was it? I mean, was it peppy? I mean,
again, so the power shifting ride of the Ranger, huge. You didn't know you were driving a 4-cylinder truck. Like the 6-cylinder Tacoma, you felt it. Just like my Tacoma. Like when you put your foot in the pedal, that 6-cylinder is working. The one thing I did notice was that lurchy shift, which it only happened one time because I was only on it one time. I don't know, maybe it was an anomaly. But the
probably not.
The Ranger, because of the torque, instant power. Like when you put your foot in the pedal, it got up and went. Like I was really impressed with how quick that thing got off the line. Comfort wise, definitely lean towards the Ranger. It was definitely more comfortable. I felt like something that I don't know if it was you has complained about. Someone had driven my truck and complained about the shape of the hood on the Tacoma. Yeah, it's a bulbous hood.
So look over the front. So
yes.
if you go drive my truck, you should wheel my truck.
Well,
you're like looking down. The hood is not really a factor.
Look at I noticed that in the Ranger immediately. So look at the shape of the Gen 3 Tacoma is very similar to that, and the shape of the Ranger slopes. So it felt like the visibility out the front was better out of the Ranger.
That's big too. I mean,
it is
off-road.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. I was really like I never really paid attention to it in my truck until I was like, wow, there's definitely a difference there. Again, the Tacoma has a cool factor, a stability factor, a macho-ness to it, right? That I don't think the Ranger has quite earned because it hasn't been tested. I will say
macho-ness.
Macho-ness. That's a
Did you say macho-ness or nacho or nacho-ness?
If it had nacho-ness, I'd eat it.
My main thing with wanting Tacoma or just the Tacoma is just reliability. Like I know
it doesn't matter to him.
I know he's not going to have it more than 30,000 miles.
In a year and a half, he's going to go, I'm going to need that Gladiator now, and he's just going to go get a Gladiator. That's so.
But for me,
as far as the Ford, dude, go ahead and get it. Let's beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, let's see what it's made of. Built Ford tough.
Well, I don't know that I'm in a position to do any of it yet. You guys are helping me with the conversation. I will say there was someone, I'm also not going to say who it was, but there was someone online on Instagram that we follow that I reached out to that they have 2 Rangers. And
what does their name rhyme with?
And I said, I asked how they like them, and they said, we absolutely love them. We love the first one so much, we went and bought a second one, and you're welcome to come and drive them anytime you want. Like that's.
Are they modified?
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
You guys have seen them at recent events.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
And again, the only reason I didn't ask if I could talk about it, but I don't. So I mean, I think that's a good judge. Like
I want to say the Ford Ranger's part is definitely more refined than the Tacoma, right?
Yes.
Would you say that?
Yes.
But it's just I don't think it's a proven.
No.
It's not proven yet.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Tacoma, the price and the resale value are warranted on the Tacoma. Mm-hmm. If the Ranger was the same price as the Tacoma, regardless of all of the things I just said, I'd be like, absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. You haven't earned that. But when I see, again, a $7,000 to $8,000 price difference,
and you get more for your money,
and you get more, there's a little bit of me that's going, maybe it's worth it. Similar to what Matt was looking at when he bought his truck. Like, okay, I'm willing to take a chance on whether it be reliability or certain aspects of a vehicle to save an extra $8,000. Because look at it from like an off-road perspective. That $8,000 that you're spending up front on the Tacoma, if you could save that. That's bumpers, sliders,
even if it's
racks,
just tires, sliders,
suspension. I mean, that's That's all of those things, right? So if I have a decent enough down payment for the Tacoma, or I could take $5,000 to $10,000 of that out of the down payment, keep it in my pocket, have the same monthly payment that you would have had buying the Tacoma, but I've got now $7,000 that I can go completely trick out my rig with.
Yeah.
You know, again,
Think of all the stickers you could get.
I know so many stickers.
You know how many stickers?
And I know we joke about it, but if I was the type of person that was like, I'm going to buy this truck, I'm going to drive it for 12 years until it dies, I've just never been that person, right? So I need this to run for 100,000 miles, right? That's what I need. If it can get me to 100,000 miles, I'll be happy, and I'll get something else at that point. Thoughts?
You didn't factor a Gladiator at all.
I looked, but here's the problem. The only Gladiators that are in this price range
Are the sports.
are like the sports or the base model, absolute base model, no lockers, no nothing, just absolute.
Okay, but you also said, the money you could put into it. Well, you can get one with front and rear lockers.
But yeah, but that's the Rubicon one.
Yeah.
They're like $45,000.
Yeah. The
Front and rear lockers.
yeah, but I don't.
That's
I'm
true.
not spending $45,000.
Yeah,
Front
you are
and rear
though.
lockers.
I don't
I don't know,
understand.
I keep saying
Electric
it.
sway disconnect.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is you're trying to convince me of.
Because
Matt.
you're also again,
Well,
you're
put it this way, if
How
you
much would it to put front lockers in
Yeah.
anything? Like
You
that's got to
spend-
be $5,000 probably.
No,
right?
it's like $2,000.
2.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that going back to the argument of not putting all the money as a down payment and using whatever that's
Right.
left over as
You can
So
go.
you're
You
putting
can go
that-
about it two ways. You can either you can get as much as you can up front, right?
Mhm.
That's like a Rubicon Jeep or Gladiator or
and
Wrangler,
that was the funnest truck we drove that day.
or you can save some money and then try to build up that whatever car or truck you get to that level of the Rubicon.
So here's funny. On cars.com, I did Jeep Gladiator, max price $35,000, and it said, we can't find anything under $35,000. And I forget where it was I was looking, but I did find a couple for the 32 to 35 range,
Yeah.
but they were completely base models. Like they had the steel crappy stamp wheels. They didn't even have wheels, tires, all that's going to be gone eventually.
Right.
But when you look apples for apples, if I were to get a Gladiator with a rear locker, I'm spending $45,000.
You always want to get as much as you can up front.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal, right? So
Yeah, I just...
And it's ridiculous, like the amount of money they want for one of those.
Well, I know.
All right, well,
But dude, the way you guys were talking about it when you guys got back from the Icon thing,
Dude.
yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna find a way to get one of these things.
that's what I'm saying. Do you not remember that day driving that truck? How much fun it was?
I do, and it was fantastic. But I also know what my salary is, and the two don't combine. There's no Venn diagram in which my income.
Look at
and
that, dude.
look.
The first one, 62,000.
Look, we already talked about the kid who makes $15 an hour and he's driving around a Rubicon.
Yeah,
They
that was
gave
like
him
that
a-
kid's doing it.
That was 6 months ago. That's been repoed since then. So on Auto
He's
Trader,
living the Rubicon life, bro.
yeah, on Auto Trader, the cheapest one is $33,900. Yeah, it's just I just don't see it as a feasible
All right.
First
time we're dragging that Ford out of somewhere, I'm gonna
Oh.
I'm gonna bring up this conversation.
Oh, I know.
I think that Gladiator be stuck down there wherever you're at.
I know.
Look at my 26-year-old truck. It doesn't get stuck.
Look at all four wheels. Are
I know.
still on it.
That's what I should do. I should just buy like 4 Land
you
Cruisers.
can buy 4 Land Cruisers.
keep them in different locations in the city. I don't know. So final thoughts. I mean, it's just, again, this is something like it's kind of been in the back of my mind thinking about it. And then Tammy and I had a conversation about a couple things that are coming up and things we need to do. And I was just like, I don't even know if this is a feasible option. And I was on my way out to a customer meeting today, and there was 2 at the same
As
dealership.
soon as you go to a dealership, it's over.
That's what I told Tammy. She wanted to go looking last week, and I was
And
like,
it's
no,
like, no,
no,
you know what
because if
that
I
means?
if I drive one,
Then it
now
has
I have to have one.
Yes. The odds of it occurring or actually purchasing a vehicle have just tripled essentially. So
Yeah.
there's some interest. You know, you're like 20%. Like, yeah, I guess mathematically we could do it. But then as soon as you test drive it, that 20% went to 60%, and now you got to start talking yourself down from doing it.
Yeah. I got to find a reason. There
So
was
it's happening.
the one that I wanted was at CarMax in Fresno. It was right around 30 grand, XLT, FX4. Like it had a couple different trim options that I was like, that's the one. And I thought about it I talked to the guy at CarMax and he was like, yeah, it was $150 to have it transferred down there. Cool. I got back. I looked at it today. Like when I got back from my meeting, it was already on hold. Someone has already got it. I was like, damn it. Like,
See, and what's cool about the Rangers, like you can get that FX4 package on any trim level. So,
yeah, that is really cool the way they did that.
So you can get the base model Ranger, but still get the rear locker and the shocks 4x4.
Yeah. You don't have to get the high end.
You don't have to get the
You
TRD.
only get that on the TRD Pro or Off-Road or Pro.
Off-Road or Pro, yeah.
Or in Nissan, the Pro 4X.
Right.
There's only one option there. So, again, I don't know.
To be honest, I would be interested. Like I would want you to get it just to see what it does. To be honest, it's just it is show content.
Yeah. Well, and when I was talking to Tammy after the test drive, she was like, if you're asking for input from your wife, the more comfortable, nicer, newer, cost less option is probably the one I'm most excited about. I mean, it's, again, it's a little bit, it's, I understand why. And for those of you that are Tacoma lovers, I'm a Tacoma lover. For those of you that are screaming.
You know what? You had this same conversation like this, kind of like, look, for those of you that are Jeep lovers, I know, when you talked yourself into getting the Toyota from a Jeep, I remember that whole thing. And now look at you, you're doing it again, but you're doing it to get a Ford.
But I'm looking at
where does this stop?
I know.
I'm just, it seems very foreign to me go ahead, continue selling.
I'm not selling anybody on anything. I'm just saying, I
love Toyota.
I do
really.
I have
not really.
Well, look, I've said before,
you're shedding that Tacoma like it's an itchy jacket. Like, get off me!
No,
I don't want this thing anymore.
If there was a world,
all of a sudden you got a new job, and
if there was,
oh, you know what? That sounds familiar.
If there was a world where I could keep the Tacoma but. Look, I've said it before.
There is a world. It's the one you're in now.
Shut it. I'm not loyal to any one specific brand, and we've talked about that on the show.
That's true.
You don't have to have the most expensive, most popular vehicle to go have a good time, right? I mean, that is one consistent message that we've had from day one: is wheel whatever you got, whatever feels good to you, go with it.
I think basically it comes down to you're going to do your research. You're gonna weigh everything, dude. No, if you'd have asked me a year ago, like a little further back, because at this time a year ago I was talking myself into the Frontier. But remember, we were talking the Colorado, and Tacoma. Well, that was kind of out of my range. But trucks that I would want, and the Frontier wasn't.
It wasn't even on your radar.
It wasn't even on the radar. I was like, oh yeah, there's that. But then, you start looking at the math and what makes sense for me and what I can afford and what I need. Because I plan on driving that thing probably till it breaks. Or
but that's for you. That's like 6 months from now, the way you drive.
I don't know. Well, what?
That thing's really stout. It's
it's doing really good.
Yeah.
So whatever. The drivetrain, I'm not worried about. So for you, it's kind of the same thing. Like, we aren't necessarily loyal to one specific brand. I just want it to be capable. You need it to be capable as well as be a daily driver. Man, we're both going to be in the same. Because you've had a company
for 20 something years. I mean, I think when I first got into the trade in 96,
and you're going to Ford, man.
When I first got into the trade in 96, I didn't have a company vehicle, but I had a lead guy. Like I would meet at the shop and we'd ride. Yeah. The minute, like the year after, 97, 98, I had a company vehicle of some sort. And I have had a company vehicle of some sort almost my entire life. Like from that for the last 20 something years. There was a period. Awesome, there was a period for a while I was in sales with one company where I drove my own truck, car allowance and the whole thing. But that was just about a year. Right. And this is the first time where I'm like, okay, I need a daily driver that's comfortable, that's respectable when I need to take a client to lunch, and is also able to hit the trail and mob when I need it.
You need a Swiss Army knife.
I do, yeah. Now the other option is buy a 2-door spec commuter car and keep the Tacoma, right?
See,
But
the problem there is, I'll speak because I've thought about doing that too, but it's like, I know when I get it, I want to make that payment. I'm gonna be like, why am I making this payment on
something I hate driving?
this thing.
I don't want to
this
drive a Honda Accord everywhere
Yeah.
I go. Like, I want to be in my truck, right?
Exactly.
Even when I had the company truck, which I enjoyed driving that Ford, like on the weekends, we would drive my truck most of the time because I was like, Tammy drives all the time in her car. I'm like, I don't get to drive my truck all week long. I want to drive my truck. So basically Friday night to Sunday night, I drove the truck because I wanted to be in it. If I'm going to be making a payment on something, it's going to be something I enjoy and want to drive.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just looking at it from a empirical perspective, looking at the math and the stats and the numbers. There's nothing that makes me believe that if I were to buy a Ranger, it wouldn't fall into the exact same category as Matt's Frontier. A kind of a sleeper you wouldn't have expected out on the trail, but you know what? Never had a problem. Once you got it out on the trail, it handled it, right? Now it's just a matter of whether or not I'm going to pull the trigger on any of this.
I think you already have your mindset on it. I just think you wanted our input on it.
Well, I say do it.
Yeah, I say do it too.
You talked me. You turned me
sold
around.
me. Yeah, you sold me. I'm gonna buy one too now.
I don't.
No, I'm not.
Welcome to the Trail Rangers podcast.
Yes. I am not gonna buy a Ford
Hosted by two dudes and another. You guys can find another Ford person. I personally don't see any negatives for me.
2 Fords don't make it right.
I only see positives for me.
There's
only
opportunity there.
It's only good for me because I have the ultimate sleeper. If my truck can't make it or whatever, well, you got the cheapest truck, whatever.
So, Matt.
But if you go out there with that Ford has to.
Hey, Matt.
It has to perform. It has to perform on those fire roads.
You know that Diablo drop off thing we did? So imagine me and you went up at first, and then, all right, Cody, your turn. And he gets stuck, like we're that rutted out section, and he gets stuck there. And we got to tow him out.
Oh man!
Oh no! Yeah. I recognize 100% that if I go down this path and it's a crappy off-road vehicle, that's the only thing we will talk about on this show about how crappy a decision I made with my life, and I'm a loser.
We'll have to change the name of the podcast to the Ford Shit Show. The Ford Shit Show.
But I want you guys to acknowledge that if it performs,
oh, dude, I'll praise it where it's due.
Sure,
for sure.
But I think there's a relatively high standard that it has to meet.
Oh yeah,
because you haven't had any problems with your
no,
truck.
That truck is 100%.
Other than taking it onto the track down at Icon, that was the only negative time. Only thing negative about you, other than the seating
but
position
that was just to show how
great Icon is.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
But
that was
for crawling, trail, whatever. There, you have
we
not
have
had
never.
One. You've been the guinea pig on our trails.
Yeah.
Like, oh, go get it. Tell us how it is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you haven't been able to climb up or anything like that. So
and with that said,
that's a very high standard for this Ford to have to meet.
And there's
because I still expect. Well, I don't know.
I'll still be the guy that does the guinea pig.
It might be Jose right now because if you got I don't know how quickly you'd have
the
suspension,
upgrade,
have everything upgraded, But right now, Jose would be the guy to have to go and take a look
he'd be the most equipped. But with that said about my truck, there's absolutely nothing wrong with my truck. Again, it's got 95,000 miles on it. It's been maintained. I know it will drive another 150,000 miles. Like I have this has nothing to do with I'm not sure about my truck. This is more about, okay, I want to change it up a little bit, get something different. I've got this new life, these new requirements in my life, and I want to try something different. And this was not really something I had thought about. I really liked it at Icon. Tell you what, the funny thing is, last year at King of Hammers was the first time I saw one in person. I went, what is that? Oh, that's the Ford. Damn it. I really liked that. And I loved it at the Icon event. We've seen a couple of them at events and every time you see them,
nice,
I'm like, damn, that really catches my eye.
Dude, I've been saying that
I know.
I've been saying that for a long time.
And again, you have every right to hate it.
But I hate that I like it so much. I'm just like, dude, that's such a nice looking truck.
I'll let you drive mine when I get it.
Done. It's happening.
It's happening, dude. He's sold on it
Nothing.
already.
Nothing is done.
Here's another aspect. What are the aftermarket options for this?
I thought about that. I did some research. So Icon makes all the way up to stage 8, I think, for the Ford. We've seen it. We know it works, right? The Icon has wheels for it. If I were to put suspension on anything at this point, it would definitely be Icon. There is ADD, Addictive Desert Designs makes
bumpers,
sliders, and bumpers and stuff. Warren makes a bumper for it. There are a handful of companies that make bumpers for it.
The support's out there.
It's not at Tacoma level yet.
No.
But it is. There's
nothing.
No.
Just Jeep.
Yeah, Jeep and Tacoma are the only ones that you don't have to worry about. But there are options, right? And that could be another whole aspect of this is sourcing out the right aftermarket parts and what those things cost and what have you. But just looking at some of the ones that we've seen at events that we have been impressed with, I feel like you could really, as an example, LGE CTS has a
we saw that thing on the
Ranger, right?
on the
it's
trail,
super nice, and that may be a route we could go to talk to them about where they're sourcing parts from. But we've seen enough of these in the wild. The Hellwig one I saw at SEMA was awesome. That I feel like there are plenty of options for.
So the LGT, what is it?
LGE CTS.
They're running Icon suspension.
Yeah, they're running Icon suspension. Now, full disclosure here, these are custom cut out fender flares that have been molded in. So, you're not going to buy this off the shelf. You're going to get that from them, right? But look
at that truck, dude.
Yeah, there are plenty of just well-built Rangers with a couple aftermarket parts that seem to be in great. Now that's the other thing is this Ranger, although it's new here, it's 2011.
It's been a global platform.
Yeah,
technically it's an old truck, dude.
Yeah, they've been running this thing around the world since 2011. So it's not like this is a first trick pony here. I mean, look there's a bumper on this thing. You got some sliders. The one thing I did see about the sliders is the way the body and frame is situated, the sliders kind of bolt onto the body more than they do the frame.
Really?
And there were some questions about that, so I don't know. I have to research that some more. But
I mean,
you don't need rock sliders. You just drag that thing around. You probably do nothing but improve it, really.
Drag that mess.
Drag that. I mean, whatever's subframe or whatever across some rocks.
Having written in the Icon Ranger, I mean, could you see yourself satisfied? Like, if you set it up that way?
Oh yeah.
Like, would it meet that your expectations?
Yeah, for sure. I will tell you the.
I don't know if that's the right one.
I knew what you were saying.
Wait, did you basically just say, would you be happy with that Ranger with the Icon setup? Absolutely.
Yeah. So
well, no, I'm just saying, like, if you had to daily drive it, the way it felt, like stuff like that.
So we didn't get to drive the Icon equipped. Did we drive the stock one? I can't remember if we drove.
No.
So I don't think we drove it. We got to ride in it.
They wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
Near it. We got to ride in it. Yeah.
And I will mirror what Matt's saying. The Gladiator on that specific day was far and away the undisputed best truck of the day. However, it's at twice the cost of this Ranger, right? So let's take that off the table for a little bit. I was really impressed because we got to drive the stock Ranger, and there's a whoop section, but it was like off. There was like a bump on the right, a bump on the left, a bump on the right, and in stock form, the back end really bounced around a lot. And you see this on the videos we posted. The back end bounces around. The Icon equipped one took that section like a champ, and it never bucked the back end to where you were shooting in the wrong direction. The Icon equipped one around the corners after the jump on rails. I mean, I feel like
that's like the biggest difference is how quickly the vehicle settles.
Yeah.
With the suspension. and again, this is driving hard. It's not like you're just doing cruise laps. You're punching it like you're playing a video game. You're trying to cut corners, and you're trying a little bit harder every
Dude,
lap.
I felt it on my truck when I put the Icon shocks on it, dude. Washboard roads were my like kryptonite.
Yeah.
Before it was bone shattering.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I don't even care about them anymore.
Yeah. And I, to answer your question, yes, I believe that if I were to buy that Ranger, put Icon equipment,
it's gonna be a capable truck.
It's gonna be fun. And
what's cool is that it's a turbo engine, so you can probably get tuned, make it go fast.
Dude, I said it before on that
right, so I got to look for a supercharger.
You
for
do.
My
You need a charger. You need a charger mess because I'm going to blow by you.
All right, relax. Relax. You don't have it yet.
He's talking like he bought it today. He just parked it down the street.
You know what's funny?
It's in the garage.
I was going to do that. I was like, if I were to buy one, I was going to park it around the street, around the corner, and then
I drive up and go, you see that piece of shit parked out in front of your house?
I can't believe that guy spent $35,000 on that thing.
Should ask that guy to move that thing. It's lowering the value of your property.
See, that's the kind of thing. Again, honey, if you're listening, this is the kind of content you would get from that. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's the next episode.
I haven't.
All right,
ruled
we're
out.
doing laps.
Well, I'll tell you what. If someone wants to buy my Tacoma,
Cleghorn next weekend.
Yeah.
If someone wants to buy my Tacoma,
we took the Nissan like the first.
That's
weekend.
like we're gonna baseline it in Cleghorn.
If someone's interested in buying my Tacoma, Cody at trailchasers.net. Hit me an email. Drop me an instant message on LinkedIn or something. If someone wants to buy my Tacoma, that changes this conversation drastically. But I haven't ruled out just keeping my Tacoma and putting some money into it and that kind of stuff. So it is not a done deal. It's just something I knew that I needed to talk to you guys about before I did.
It's a done deal.
It's done, dude.
It's over.
It is not, dude. I test drove one today and walked away from it. So it's not a done deal.
Because you're like, hey guys, I'm buying a Ford Ranger.
Because the one you wanted was
they didn't have your color. They didn't have the right color.
They didn't have the one I wanted for sure. All right. Well, if you guys have an opinion on whether or not Cody should buy, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to there's going to be a poll on the front page of trailchasers.net. Click there and tell Cody what you think he should drive. But
if you have a Ranger,
if you have a Ranger,
tell him
951-394-DIRT. Or if you have an opinion, if you hate me for considering getting rid of my Tacoma, 951-394-DIRT. If you want to buy my Tacoma, 951-394-DIRT or Cody at trailchasers.net. So thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate it. And who knows what will happen next week. Bye. We'd like to thank Nexen Tire for their support. We've been extremely impressed with the Rodian MTX tires, and we are excited about what the future holds for Nexen. If you want to be part of this growing community, please go to nexentireusa.com and check out their complete line of tires for your rig.
We would love to hear your feedback. Please go to trailchasers.net/contact and drop us a line or leave us a voicemail at 951-395-DIRT.
You can stay up to date with all our shenanigans by going to trailchasers.net/register and signing up for our newsletter, or follow us on Instagram at The Trail Chasers.
Do you want us to talk about you on the show? Best way to do it is leave us a review on iTunes.
And thanks again to Ryan Torigno for all the music on the show. You can find him at ryantorigno.com.